Now, what are the things that a common man can use from Chanakya Niti? So I would suggest that if you can refer to my book called as Chanakya in Everyday Life. So I
Yeah.
think that is the most simplified way in which Chanakya, I have interpreted saying that, what do you do on a daily basis? Daily
Hmm.
basis, okay? So be it at home, be it your workplace, or if you're a student at school or college. So it's a very practical tips. So I'll give you one of
Yeah.
the examples. Usually, what do you do when you get up in the morning? And that's the first thing in the morning. You get up and you start thinking. But Chanakya says, no, don't just think, abruptly, have a plan for the day. Okay,
Got it.
so I do that every day. I get up in the morning. The first thing I do, usually we'll get into some social media and check some messages. So what I do is that every day morning I get up and say, okay, what is my priorities for the day? So I look at my calendar and there are 4 objectives.
Yeah.
Okay, I know. Then I mentally schedule it. So okay, if I have to write an article today, it will going to take me an hour or so. Okay, or a chapter of a book, maybe a couple of hours. Then I have to go and
Got
maybe
it.
spend some time with a friend. There is a meeting. There is a Zoom call. So what happens before I actually walk out of the bed? To be very
Hmm.
frank, my day is very clear. So I start open my day by meditating, thinking about God, planning my day, and then it's an action plan. So what Chanakya says that this is a quality of leaders. So they don't just have an unplanned day. Just go with
Yeah.
the flow. No, no, no. Going with the flow is dangerous. For a leader, you have to direct the flow, not only yourself but others. So
Hmm.
this is one example of how you plan a day. The second example, I would say that when you are in a particular situation, you should always know what is your role in that situation. A lot of people know they don't understand what is the clear way of thinking. For example, when I'm a student, okay,
Hmm.
then what is my first duty? It is to study. But you know what happens? A lot of people go to schools or colleges, do everything else but study. So I'm
Yeah.
not telling you extracurricular activities or getting into a music band or being creative is not necessary. Of course, it's necessary. But as this is the Parama Dharma, the Prathama Dharma, what is your ultimate goal in going to school or a college? Okay,
Yeah.
it is networking with friends, it's having a good time. But let's not forget, you're there for education. So
Yeah.
Chanakya helps you with this whole process of having a clarity. And believe me, I've been so fortunate that I manage at least 200-300 projects simultaneously. Okay,
Wow.
200-300 projects. Okay, yeah, and they're absolutely different from each other. So I complete this webinar, then I'm going to make a proposal for a venture capitalist. So think about it. Then I'm
Okay.
going to have 2 more calls, as I told you, interview calls. In the morning, I completed sales. So every time people ask me, how do you do so much multitasking? Then I said,
Hmm.
it's very clear because before I take up the task, I think clearly. And multitasking is without clarity is confusion. But taking
Got it.
every task with clarity actually makes you very effective. So that's the second way of putting it, saying that if you have a clear way of thinking, planning, execution, you'll be successful, and a leader needs to know that. So that's how Chanakya's Niti has to be made relevant. Directly you will not understand, so to decode it, give some examples, practice in your life, and then you become the Chanakya.
Lucky for us, like, you've already done the decoding, so all we need to do is study like through the book. So